Hello guys, today we're taking a look at something different, and basically what it is, I am trying to do what's called chroma keying. You probably know it as green screening. It's usually how they put special effects into a lot of movies. They record like actors and things like that in front of a green screen, and then in software they remove the green screen and add in a different background. So I'm doing the same thing here, but obviously if you look at this scene you'll see that my background is purple. The reason for that is, well, if you look at this scene again you'll see there's an awful lot of green there, and I thought blue screen, that's the other most common type of green screen, but we have Fords, we have New Holland, there's a huge amount of vehicles that are also blue, but we don't have anything that's purple really. So that's what I did. I got a bunch of A4 sheets basically that are purple. Didn't want to spend a huge amount of money. I didn't know if this was going to work or not, so just kept it simple. Bunch of purple A4 sheets, thumbtacked them to the back wall, and that's what you're looking at here. So this is obviously the original footage. We just have the tractor running in front here. But now I'm going to switch over and you'll see what it's like after the background's removed. So you can see along the hedge there we have cut out all that purple. Basically software can automatically do that. It's pretty good. It looks a little bit fuzzy around the hedge there I think, but the background has kind of worked. This is just a still image that I got. It's actually from a model railway. People doing model railways generally print out a like static background image in quite a large scale or on a large sheet, and then just stick that to the back wall of their diorama. So it's kind of like that. My intention though really is to try and record some footage that will fit the background and look right, like with, you know, like with animals moving or with vehicles moving in the background, stuff like that, so that it looks a little bit realistic, clouds moving, things like that. At this point I've probably played around with the software for maybe 4 or 5 hours this week, so I clearly have a lot to learn so far, but I've picked up a few little tricks and things. I think by far the most important thing that you need to get right when you're doing this kind of thing is the lighting, both on the screen itself and on the foreground, on what you're trying to shoot. So there's actually a couple of mistakes in this footage that you've just been watching for the last minute. Did you notice that the guy in the bottom left corner, his actual boiler suit changed from blue to sort of green? That's because of one of the filters I applied. I didn't notice it, I just actually noticed it when I was editing this footage. If you look at the cab of the tractor here, you'll notice that it starts to disappear. So I think this is because the lighting was bad. I had too much light on the screen, and because the tractor is like a gloss finish, that light reflected down onto the glass of the tractor, so there must have been like a purple tint on the roof, and it's only appearing on the roof because I have a mask up on the top, so that I'm only applying the chroma key above the hedge. I also didn't like that the bulbs themselves were glaring so much off the bonnet in that scene, so I decided I'd go back and shoot another scene. But first I moved the position of the bulb, I moved it further away from what I was trying to record. So the original is on the left and the new scene is on the right, and as you can see the purple itself is much richer now, and that's actually much closer to what the actual page looks like. I think the light was just overwhelming the original shot, which is on the left. There's also a lot less light being reflected from the bulbs on the video on the right, so much happier with that. So here it is with the background in. I was probably being more careful here not to drive the tractor up beyond the hedge. I think that's probably the best way to keep the moving objects out of the screen itself, because it's not a human we're recording. There's windows, there's glass finished bonnets and roofs on these tractors that we're trying to record, so it just doesn't work as well as having a human in front, because there's a lot more reflection of those glossy surfaces. Here's an example where the vehicle is moving in front of the green screen and you're looking through the window. You have loads of different shadows cast by the vehicle, and that means that we see that kind of haze around the vehicle. I applied a few more filters and got it down a bit, but you can still see at the back, and if you watch the cab you can see things were disappearing there, so it's hard enough to get it perfect. Here's the last one that I've just tried, and it's a little bit different to how I've done the others. I tried to mess around with the colours here because it was very hard to get. Well, actually, when I did the key to get rid of the background, what ended up happening, the trailer continually disappeared. Every time I done it, the trailer disappeared. So whatever tint or reflection or whatever it is, it's causing, there's obviously enough of it on the trailer that it's causing the trailer to disappear. So I put in a few little colour filters and just kind of played around with them. I don't really know what I'm doing. This is the first one, so I just threw this colour on to just see what would happen. I played around with the controls, so I got this kind of darker than the background, and this is a different colour. By the way, this outline here, this is like a mask, so all that we're going to see at the end is what's inside this mask here, or that's all we're really going to remove the background from, only this area. And the benefit there is that I don't have to worry about the colours down here, so any colour down here can match this background. So there's probably colours in here that match the background, but it doesn't matter because when I do the key, it's not going to worry about down here. So that was the first thing. I did a bit of colour changes there. Then I did a shadow and highlight function, and that just sort of brightened it up again. So you can see things are a little bit less shadow, and these colours are a little bit sharper, a little bit brighter. Then what I did was an invert, and so basically I took the image and inverted the brightness of the image, and then I overlaid that 50% of that on the original image. So by doing that, I had inverted the shadows so that when I overlaid it, they kind of counteracted each other, so everything should be basically at the same brightness. It's not the same colour, but the same brightness. So things like the shadows that you might have seen here, look, looks like there's something kind of here, but it's a different colour rather than a different brightness. Again, the shadow is a different colour here rather than being a different brightness, so everything's the same brightness at the minute. Then I played around with the colour offset again, and I got this red colour, so it's very different to the purple that you've seen here, and even this layer that you're seeing here, so it's pretty obvious there now. And at that point then I put the chroma key into it, and that cleared out everything that was that dark colour. So you can see there it's missing out of there. There's areas here where it's not missing, so you can see that little section there didn't just clear properly. But maybe after this I can go round and do another one of these masks, but make it tight, and then it can just follow the vehicle around, and that might tidy it up a little bit. But I'm kind of running out of time, so this is as far as I'm really going to do it. I'll just finish editing, or I'll create the actual footage with the video, and you'll see like there'll probably be there'll be sections here that appear that we didn't really want, but not much we can do about it really. So because I'm running out of time, I'm not going to worry too much about these things. But the last feature I did then was to do an auto trace around the edges, and that meant that I could create this mask here. So all these white areas, I can now use this as like a cutting tool for the original footage, and in that way I'll be just left with basically the vehicle moving. I don't want to see everything else, I just want to see that vehicle moving. That's the only part I'm really interested in. So I'll finish this up and we'll see what the final result looks like. Here's our footage, and as you can see there is a couple of purple areas sticking through, so that's because our mask wasn't just tight enough. So if you played around with it a bit more, you'd get it a little bit better. I just ran out of time this time. So I think the best thing to do is try to build some model scenery, something like you've seen on the left there. A bit of a rock face with some trees and things on it. But make sure that it's higher than the vehicles that's going to be driving in front of it. That way I can get a nice clean chroma key background up above that layer, and I won't have to worry about the reflections coming off the vehicles and things like that, because I can just apply the key to that top layer. I can put a mask over just the top layer that has the coloured background in it. So that's the plan. It'll probably take me a little while to actually get round to doing it all. As usual, it generally takes me a while to get any of these ideas done, but this is just an example of how it's probably going to work, and hopefully we'll get some pretty good videos out of this. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you'll look forward to seeing the new videos when I get more familiar with this software. And that's pretty much it though, so thanks very much for watching.